G'day guys, it's Adam here from Caravan Mods. We got a lot of inquiries around the best way to attach your Sullage hose to your caravan. A lot of vans are rolling out of the factory with a screw-on type fitting, which is cumbersome to use. Other vans are coming out with a barbed style fitting, which during the heat of the day, after you've just pushed the Sullage hose on, the heat of the sun will expand and it tends to fall off. Moving to a Camlock style fitting is really easy and simple once you know what you need to get. The final setup allows you just to push your hose on and close the tabs to secure it in place. It's also super easy to join two hoses together once you've got the Camlock system working. In this van, they carry two lengths of hose, 1.6 and 1.4, a total of 10 meters. And again, you're simply just joining two hoses together like that. Carrying a 6 meter and carrying a 4 meter length separately just means most of the time, the 6 meter length is going to get you where you need to go. When it comes time to pack up, you don't have to clean and rinse a full 10 meter coil. An important note before we get into which fittings you're going to need for your van is that there are three sizes of Camlock fittings: 25mm, 32mm and 40mm. Most caravans are going to get away with using 25 and 40mm Camlocks, and we'll get into that in a second. But the important note is that you can't use 25mm Camlocks with any other size, or likewise 40mm Camlocks with any other size, simply because the receptacle of each is a different size. If you don't currently have a Sullage hose, you might choose between a 25mm and a 38mm hose for two different reasons. If you're running a full-size van with a kitchen sink, a washing machine and a shower, and you do have a grey water tank on board, we can afford to get away with a smaller 25mm diameter hose. Any water that is restricted in the hose will back up in the grey water tank, which will act as an accumulator for a short period of time. If you're running a full-size caravan and you do have that kitchen sink, the washing machine and the shower, and you don't have a grey water tank on board, you're going to want to stick with a 38mm hose to make sure we can get that water out as quick as possible and not have any restrictions in the shower or the kitchen sink when you're washing up. So if you're using a 25mm Sullage hose, we'll be using 25mm Camlocks for the whole Camlock system. If you've chosen a 38mm Sullage hose, we will be using 40mm Camlocks for the whole system. If for some reason you've got a 28mm hose that's measuring, you will get away with 25mm Camlocks and a worm drive clamp. If you've got a grey water tank on board, almost all grey water tanks produced and sold for caravans run 40mm threaded fittings on their outlet, which means the plumbing and the threaded fittings coming off them will also be 40mm threaded fittings. Easiest way to check is to read the fittings or read the pipework. You're looking for 40mm or 1 and 1.5 inch BSP. If you've got raw 40mm PVC pipe, you can get a PVC connector, which is going to slip over the PVC pipe, offer a threaded fitting. In this case, we're running 25mm hose, so we've stepped down with a 40mm or 1.5 inch to 1 inch threaded connector, and then onto our 25mm Camlock, which will easily connect to the hose. If you're using a 38mm Sullage hose and you've got 40mm pipework on the van, all we need to do is get a 1.5 inch thread coming off your pipework. If you've already got a ball valve on there, you may have that thread on there, and you might be able to get away with purchasing a Part F or a Part A Camlock fitting, female 1.5 inch, male 1.5 inch. If you don't have the threaded fitting on the van, we sell a PVC adapter, which is going to slip straight over your 40mm PVC pipe. You could use some clear PVC plumber's glue on the join there to keep it in place, and then you're simply going to install or screw on a Part A fitting. Once you've got that all set up, the finishing touch is a dust cap. This is mounted to the van and the dust cap attaches to the end of the line. So when it's parked up at home or not in use, it keeps the path for the creepy crawlies shut.